Hi there, it's Tracy, and I have another scrapbooking process video for you. This time I'm using the Drops of Jupiter kit and add-on from the Scraptastic Kit Club, which is the kit for March of 2016. Before I get started, I'm just going to trim up these 3 photos. They look like exactly the same photo, but they're very, very slightly different poses. It was one of those times when I was just taking a million pictures hoping that one of them would come out. This is my little newish nephew, Jude. And I'm just going to take out the paper now from the kit and have a look at which papers I might want to use on this layout. So at first I'm going to have a look at the cardstock that comes in the kit, and I thought about putting it all on white, and that's just not going to be enough of a contrast for me. And then I thought about using this paper from the Chanel Starshine collection with the stars on it. That's really cute and I would like it like that, but I really want this particular layout to have a very light, airy feel to it. I want to emphasize the fact that it's a baby layout, which I don't have many of in my albums these days. So I wanted to have a real white, light, baby type of a feel to it. So I'm going to save that Chanel Starshine paper with the stars on it for another layout. I'm going to instead pick this white wood paper from the Jen Hadfield collection. And I'm just taking one of my punches here. This is the double embossed dotted lace punch. And excuse my head, I had to either move the punch out of frame or put my head into frame because I just have to look right over the punch in order to line up the pattern with the pattern that's under on the bottom part of the punch in order for it to punch in one continuous pattern. So I made that strip out of a piece of the exclusive paper from Scraptastic that came in the kit. And now this star paper is from Amy Tangerine. It's from the Better Together collection. I absolutely love it. It has the beautiful colors that are exactly the same colors that are in Jude's shirt. And then this is from We Are Memory Keepers, that heart one with the green background and the blue and white hearts. And then this paper with the polka dots, or on the other side, it's a chevron zigzag pattern, is from Jen Hadfield as well. I thought about using that other paper, but I'm not going to. I feel like I really have enough pattern papers for this layout. This is going to be a ledge layout, which is where I'm creating a little ledge for my photos to sit on. And so I'm going to layer these papers together like this. And so I'm just going to take my ATG and start to put them together right now. And I am staggering them a little bit. So I'm lining up the Amy Tangerine paper with the scallop paper. And then I'm going to offset this We Are Memory Keepers paper a little tiny bit. And now I'm just going to take the manufacturer's strip off of this Jen Hadfield background paper. So I'm using my Caterpillar crop for that, which is my newish trimmer that I'm enjoying using. And I'm going to pull all of this down to the bottom third of the paper. And I forgot to put keep meaning to put my gray grid mat out so that I can line things up, but it's not. It's over and it's under a whole bunch of things. So I just took it off. I took the layout out of frame for a minute just to put it on my grid mat, my work mat that I usually use, and make sure that it's lined up. I'm hoping that for the next video I will remember to put my mat back because it helps with the exposure and the lighting and that sort of thing. So I just staggered those photos so that the center one is a little bit higher vertical wise than the other two, and so that they're all kind of stacked on top of one another, and that makes a really nice kind of interesting variation as opposed to having them completely lined up perfectly. I just ran a strip of ATG across the bottom to hold them in place. And now I'm going to use this more bold pattern paper from Jen Hadfield. And it's just that polka dot, but I really like the bold mint green that's in the shirt, in Jude's shirt, but it's also in Tim's shirt in the background. They were wearing the same shirt, which is a complete accident. But this paper is a very bold paper. And what I like about it, it does a couple of things. First of all, it covers that jaggedy line across the bottom of the white bottom borders of those photos that kind of goes up and down because the photos are staggered. So it kind of calms down that area a little bit by covering it up, but it also adds quite a bit of weight to this little, I called it a ledge already, this little ledge that I've built for my photos. And it gives it a bit more weight, and it's nice and bold and just punches up the layers a little bit with a bit more interest. So these clips are clips that actually did not come in the Drops of Jupiter kit, but Jessica was kind enough to send them to me anyways. They're from Caitlin Schaefer's new collection. It's from Crepe Paper, and it's called Little You, and they're really, really cute little baby themed embellishment clips. And so I pulled the baby one out right away. I know I want to use that. I thought about using that Soar die cut that came in the kit, but I'm not going to. I did pull out those clouds, and then this wood veneer that says bright-eyed. I thought that was kind of relevant for a baby. And then the flare badge with the star in the middle, and it has a bit of a grid on it that you can't quite see in the video, but it does have like a circular grid. And now I'm looking at the Chamel Starshine die cuts that came in the kit, and there are cardstock die cuts and also some clear transparency die cuts. And I'm going to use this as my title, this Let Your Dreams Soar embellishment. I don't often use an embellishment or a die cut for my title, and so I wanted to do that on this layout. And so it's kind of coming together here. I decided to put the Let Your Dreams Soar right up above the first photo and kind of going down into the space between the two photos. I think it makes good use of the negative space on those photos. And then the baby clip right beside it. And then I decided to put this teddy bear or bear clip as well. And then I pulled out that cloud clip as well. So now I have 3 of the clips from the Crepe Paper Little You collection. And I'm also going to use one of the stamps from the Drops of Jupiter kit. I just picked it up on my block, and I'm going to use it it's the long strip of tiny little polka dots, and I'm going to use it to make some journaling strips right on my background paper. And now I'm looking at these Heidi Swap. I'm kind of dancing, I think. I was listening to music. And those are Heidi Swap clear stickers, and then I also have the Heidi Swap letter stickers. They're puffy letter stickers. And even though I'm not going to use these for the title, I'm still going to spell out Jude and kind of nestle it on this photo on the far right. And I really like doing that, especially when I repeat the same or almost the exact same photo over and over again. It gives you a little bit more liberty to cover things up in the photo because there are 3 copies. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Jude has a slightly different look on his face in each one of them, but it is pretty much the same photo. So it's okay to cover it up a little bit more than I normally would. And I'm not really even covering up all that much by putting the word Jude there. So these are little acrylic pieces, these little stars that came in the kit. And I'm only going to use the dark blue and the light blue ones. And I was kind of wishing that there were 3 of each because I would have liked to have had 3 for this bottom cluster by the word Jude. So right now I have these kind of 3 loose clusters that are forming. One is up in the clouds in the sky. I'm not going to do that. I don't want this to be too layered. See how I was going to put that die cut piece under the Let Your Dreams Soar, but I didn't want to do that. It would look too layered. I just want this one to look kind of like embellishments are floating around the photos instead of all piled up with lots of pattern paper and things. So I grabbed 2 Stampin' Up! Inks. One is Pistachio Pudding that I decided not to use. The other one is Pool Party, which is my very favorite Stampin' Up! Ink. They don't make it anymore, but I bought a re-inker before they discontinued it so that I can keep on using it for years to come. And I'm stamping out these strips, and then I'm kind of removing the ink from it so that I can have various lengths. And right away, I'm noticing that these are not dark enough. So I'm re-stamping, and because it's a clear stamp, I can see through my block and just line it up. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's such a faint little strip of pattern anyways that it really doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just doing my best to double stamp each of those strips so that I have a little space for journaling here. And now I'm going to do my journaling with a fine point Faber-Castell Pitt pen. And it says, "It's been so long since we had seen little Jude. He had grown enormously. He is so full of energy and smiles and such a little man." And so I kind of made that journaling up off the top of my head. I'm not like super pleased with the grammar but it does say everything that I wanted it to say. It talks about, his energy and his smiles and how he's such a little man. And that's basically what I wanted to say in this layout. So I just went back and added some underlines to the journaling. It makes it pop a little bit. And I pulled the clip off of that bear embellishment so that I don't have to contend with clipping it on something. Then it just becomes a free form embellishment that I can put anywhere. And I put some Stampin' Up! Dimensional adhesive on it. And I'm layering two thicknesses of those embellishments, and that is to allow the bear to be just a little bit taller than the flare badge, because I want him to layer over it just a teeny bit. And I did use the same dimensional adhesive from Stampin' Up! On the flare badge as well. And I want the arrow and this little die cut piece that says "We all deserve to twinkle." I want them to layer like that, so I just used my tiny attacher to staple the two of them together. And now I'm just using my ATG to glue the "We all deserve to twinkle" to the page. And then I'm going to layer that wood veneer piece with the two embellishments on it. I'm going to layer it right on top of that little ledge that I created with the pattern paper. And because that top polka dot paper is pop dotted, I pop dotted the wood veneer piece too, so that it could accommodate the popped up paper behind it. I'm just slipping that baby embellishment in place. I think I've already glued the "Let Your Dreams Soar." This is my second time narrating this video because the first one turned out all garbled for some reason, so I'm just re-narrating. I hope I glued that one on in place already. I didn't. There we go. Just going to use my ATG to do that. And so those stars, I just used some glossy accents to glue them in place. And now I'm just moving up here to these clouds in the sky that I'm going to put in place. Whenever I use cloud embellishments, I like them to be towards the top of my layout so that it makes good sense thematically. And I'm just going to make that cloud hang off the page a little bit, tiny little bit more glossy accents for these stars. You really don't need to use too much. If you use too much, it will ooze out and be shiny around the edges of your stars, and you will be able to notice it if you're using glossy accents. So only use a tiny bit. And again, I'm just using ATG to glue that little plane in place. There's my cat Lila coming along to see what I was up to. Now I'm going to place these Heidi Swap letters in place now. Before this, they had been just sitting on a piece of waxed paper. And there we go. And now gluing down this little die cut piece that says, what does it say? "Never let go of your dreams." And I'm thinking about putting some of these stickers, the circle ones, allow me to bring some green up to this cluster right here. So I'm taking that circle sticker right there. I'm going to put another one right here and another one over in this other. My cat is really walking all over everything. So now I need another circle sticker over here. I'll move it in a second. That's not where it's going to live, but it's going to be over there somewhere. So I like to repeat elements from my clusters, like from one cluster to another. So those 3 stickers show up in all 3 places. And now these Heidi Swap word stickers are also going to show up in all 3 places. That one that I'm placing right now says "Today was amazing." And now I'm taking this one, it says "Happy Day," and I'm going to put it over here. And it's static electricity is making it difficult for me to place this one because it keeps wanting to stick down before I'm ready for it to stick down, but I finally get it in place. Those stickers are really forgiving. I love those stickers. They're this really beautiful, there, see, I moved the other one. They're this really beautiful matte texture, very kind of almost like a matte plasticky texture similar to puffy stickers. They're just so nice, and they're very forgiving. You can just pull them up off the page and they don't rip the paper below. So I love that ampersand, so I had to put that down there. And now I'm putting these 2 enamel triangles from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm putting them down by the ampersand, and then I'm going to put 1 in each of the other clusters as well. That's too big. I'm going to change that for a smaller heart. There we go. That's better. So there's a geotag right beside the bear is the second one that I placed, and then the heart is the third. And then I just saw this. It says practice smiles, and I just thought that it would look nice there layered with the ampersand. So I'm having one last look around to see if there's anything else that I want to add, and there isn't, so I'm just going to trim off the edges. I do like to hang some items off the edges of my page. I think it just makes it look a little bit more natural looking. And now I'm just reaching for a roller date stamp. And my cat's going to cause me a little bit of grief as I try to do this roller date stamp. I grabbed the Dear Lizzie one, and there's probably more than one Dear Lizzie one, but I have one, and I just use my Stampin' Up! Basic gray ink, and my cat I have to put my head way down by my table in order to see where I'm stamping, and my cat was getting in the way there, but I managed to get it stamped. I just triple stamped it without re-inking so that I had kind of like a ghost image of the date, and it's February 21st, 2016. And now I'm just reaching for my cake box that I use for splatters. I think that's what I'm doing. Yep, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm going to take some Mr. Huey's in opaque white, just covering the photo so I don't get mist on my photo, and sprinkling in all 3 corners where the embellishments are. And then I'm just going to take a baby wipe and wipe up my hands and the bottle because I made a bit of a mess. But I'm also going to take that baby wipe and just dab off any of the mist that landed on the shiny embellishments because it won't dry. It won't dry on something shiny. And then I also just dabbed it off of where it landed on the wood veneer piece because it was too shockingly white. Now here I was going to use some Heidi Swapp Color Shine in the color Mint Green, and I really love that color and I think it would look great on this layout, but I had second thoughts because what I decided was that the white just looks so soft and beautiful that I didn't want to add anything else. I wanted to kind of keep it looking like a baby layout. That's part of why I didn't outline on this one either. I wanted it to look nice and soft and airy. And I find that when I outline it, just sometimes it adds a little bit too much boldness for a baby layout. So I tend to have my baby layouts not be outlined. And I also want this one to stand out from the other layouts in my album because this is one of the only baby layouts in my album, and so since most of my layouts are underlined, that will help make this one stand out. It's not underlined and it will have a nice soft airy look to it compared to the ones in front of it and after it. So now you get to see some of the close-ups of this layout. There are some photos as well at the end, and I always link the photos that are in my Flickr account for each layout as well. If you want to take a look at them more closely and get a chance to scrap lift them, you can just head on over to my Flickr, follow the link in the information section for this video. And here are the close-ups. Whoa, they're a little bit bright, aren't they? Sorry about that. Anyhow, this is how this layout turned out. I had so much fun doing it and it came together super quick. I'm usually a 2-hour layout scrapbooker, but this layout came together in just an hour and 10 minutes. And the 27-day challenge for April is to scrapbook a masculine or male themed layout, and so this little boy really gave me a chance to do that, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. If you are interested in participating in the 27-day challenge, I'm going to link it in the information section below, and I'll also link it as a card on this video, so you can always click on it there to see it. Feel free to join our Facebook group if you haven't already, because we're talking about the challenge and lots of other scrapbooking related things over there on the Facebook group as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and have a really great scrappy week.